Hi, Sailor. How are you? Hi, Serial. Hi, Steven. Hello, Eve. Good morning, James. How are we? Happy Sunday, guys. Happy Sunday. I just ordered myself a coffee warmer. This will be here tomorrow. Hi, Carlos. Hi, Don. Good morning. Guys, I have a question on both YouTube and Twitch. What is your favorite vampire film of all time? Like your number one, numero uno. Hello, Jamie. How are you? Sailor, how are you doing this morning? Making sure my microphone is all up. Good. You love vampire movies? Vampire movies are awesome. Which is your favorite, Carlos? Nice. Congrats on the coffee order. Yeah, I know, right? Deadwalk. Hello, Deadwalk. Good morning. Yeah, I get tired of having cold coffee, and so I finally broke down and bought one. I bought a Mr. Coffee. It should be here tomorrow. I'm super excited. Hi, Feed. How are you? Hi, Jordan. Good morning. Good morning, Macabre. Hello. I am a fabulous, Sailor. How are you? Hoping to play some video games today after some adulting. But pretty fucking good. I can't complain. Darkbreaker. Good morning, James. How are you? Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Look, YouTube's like, ReAnimateHer is here. Yeah, bitch. I'm here. You don't know which one's your favorite? Oh, well, Carlos, I have my number one favorite is 30 Days of Night. And the reason being is that 30 Days of Night for me portrays what a vampire actually is and a predator. However, I do love From Dusk Till Dawn, Vampires, and a few others like Lost Boys. Fright Night 1985 is definitely a top one. Nice, Roth. And Vamp. Oh, Vamp 86. What we're going to be talking about today, 1986 Vamp is fucking awesome. The first vampire stripper movie. That's awesome. Having play games and hype. Good job. Thanks, Don. Hey, Deadwalk over on YouTube. I love Salem's Lot, Lost Boys, and Byzantium. Ooh. Sailor, talking about Salem's Lot, do you know that they're remaking it? They're remaking Salem's Lot. I don't know if they're gonna remake it for like as long as the other, Salem's Lot is. Are you excited for the remake since Salem Lot is a favorite of yours? Yeah, you're excited. Nice. They really are so many vampire movies. Lost Boys, 30 Days of Night, Nosferatu, Fright Night, From Dusk Till Dawn, Blade. There is so many. Interview with a Vampire. I think vampires are one of the most sought after films for people because we have, out of all the monsters, we have Frankenstein. Don't get me wrong, we have Frankenstein's monster who has quite a bit of a repertoire when it comes to movies. However, nothing like vampires. I don't think there's any monster in that realm that has as many movies as fucking vampires do. You watched it last night? Nice. Good refresher. Thank you very much, Feed. I appreciate it. Hey, ReAnimateHer, I'm planning on making a horror survival game. Jordan, that's awesome. Can you go into a little bit of what it's about? Monkey Van Mowerton, good morning. You've enjoyed Midnight Mass. That's on Netflix, isn't it? I think I tried. That's a Mike Flanagan. Is that Sailor? I think there was one TV series that I tried to get into, but it was just super slow burn for me. Maybe I'll try to revisit it again. Midnight Mass? Yeah. You like Twilight, Eve? Just joking. James, thank you for the 3-stream watch streak over on Twitch. I greatly appreciate it. Okay, then I know which one it is. I tried getting into it, but I just couldn't. Bram Stoker's Dracula, 1992. And I just saw somebody else up here did Dracula 2000, right? Darkbreaker's favorites are The Vampire Lovers and Dracula 2000, which is also a fun movie. James, you'll have to say Lost Boys for you. Dracula 2000 coming in. Yeah, those are great movies. There's a ton of vampire films, guys. They're fucking awesome. Speaking of, I started my vampire story. Nice. Beams was good as well. Brams. Yeah, Brams. I'm reading Beams, and I saw your Brams fix there down below. Interview with a Vampire. Nice. Anne Rice movie. Salem Lot and Twinklight. That's Monkey's choice. Have you ever seen the Steven Seagal vampire movie Against the Dark? That is a shit show. No, I have not. I cannot say I have, James. Nice, Angie. GG's. I'm good. How are you? It's going to be a Yandra apocalypse survival horror game. Oh, very cool, very cool. Blade's a great fucking movie. Blade's a great franchise. Let the Right One In. I love that one feed. That is definitely a good fucking movie. The original Let the Right One In. Mondays do suck, so fuck them. Oh, Monkey? Oh, I thought you said Monday. Any Siegel movie is a shit show. That's awesome, mommy. Good job on your hard work. Have you seen the recent one with the Nicholas? Oh, yes, Renfield Eve. I love Renfield. I love it. I love the way Nicolas Cage portrayed a vampire. Like 100%. Oh, hello, KB. How are you? You haven't seen Vamp since VHS days? I've watched Vamp numerous times. I watched it a couple of days ago because I needed to get some of the information that Joe Bob Briggs was discussing. And yeah, I actually rewatched The Last Drive-In, Violent Valentines, just so I can get in some of the extra research that Joe Bob did, added it to my research. So I watched Vamp like 2 times in the last, since February. Dracula with Lugosi, fuck yes. Lost Boys, Bram Stoker's Dracula, and 30 Days of Night. That's a great list, Deadwalk. I'm doing much better. I had a shitty morning, but watching your stream and hitting affiliate made me feel so much better. I am so grateful for you and the Horde. Well, that's amazing, Mommy. I'm glad you reached affiliate. Your hard work pays off, and we're lucky to have you here and be a part of the Horde. There is a lot of sucking in Twinklight. I can just imagine. By the way, Vamp is on Tubi. Yes, Vamp is on Tubi and on Shudder, guys. Vampire in Brooklyn. I love Vampire in Brooklyn. Never been shot before. It tickles. Vampire in Brooklyn is Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy is a vampire. Do you think Tarantino knew he was taking from Vamp when he did Dusk Till Dawn? I think he was inspired by Vamp. It's not technically like a make for make of Vamp. Dusk Till Dawn brings numerous different aspects and actual sexualizes over Vamp. Vamp has a lot of sexuality in it, but only in the one striptease that Grace does, right? Katrina. But in Dusk Till Dawn, they expand on that even more. And Titty Twister, love that one. Hello, Running Bear. Vampire in Brooklyn you have on VHS, right on. If you want to survive the chat, do not attempt to touch or drink Ra's Irish coffee. No, because it'll be very strong. You're going to see Joe Bob and Darcy next month at Panic Fest. I will tell you right now, Joe Bob is a dream. I have yet to meet Darcy, but I got to follow around Joe Bob all weekend long 2 years ago. I fucking love that man. Hello, Maeve. Good morning. Bordello of Blood is a really good one. It's an underrated one. Pussy, pussy, pussy. Yeah. I used to remember how to say the whole thing. They even got dog pussy, they say. Cheech Marin is funny in that one. Isn't that Bruno's opening in Serial Stream? Hi, Vanessa. How are you? Shout out to Blackula. Yeah, black exploitation films from back in the day. Draculas are vampires that are, what's the difference? Vampires and Dracula is a last name, actually. So Dracula is a last name, whereas vampire is what the creature is. So if you look up the name Dracula, it actually goes back in history. They called Vlad the Impaler because his last name was pronounced a little differently, but that's where they got Dracula from. But Dracula is the name of the vampire, Count Dracula, right? Whereas vampire is an actual vampire. Dahi, hello, good morning. How are you? Oh, I just remembered a Vamp movie called Forsaken. I believe it's called Forsaken. Another one of my favorites that you just reminded me is called Thirst. Thirst, Once Bitten with Jim Carrey. Yeah, that's so fucking funny. What about that other one with Nicolas Cage? Which one is that one? Young Nicolas Cage. In vampires, they spoke British. Well, it depends. It depends on the vampire movie and the culture and the lore that you're talking about, because there is tons of vampire culture and lore throughout the world and throughout history. One of the original stories is about an Italian adventurer who goes to find his love, Selene, and the god Apollo cursed him with being a vampire. There's a ton of lore about that. You also like Bathory, but don't know if that falls under vampire movies. I'm not sure, but Bathory, she was one of the first female serial killers, they say. Fuck, I forgot to turn that off. But you didn't hear that. Did you hear that? I forgot to turn off Ake's credit thing. You had fried pickle pizza for the first time? Ooh, interesting. I like deep fried pickles. Embrace of the vampire. Darcy sucks. Still mad that she didn't bring her boobs. I am upset that she didn't come either, but it is what it is. You had a shitty week already, but this makes up for it. I'm glad your week is better because of your weekend. And you were sick last week? Oh, Vanessa. I know. Do you hear it? Are you hearing the sounds? Are you hearing the sounds? I thought I turned them all off. God damn it. Quiet Officer Doofy. If vampire bites someone, do they die? Well, it depends. If a vampire bites them for food and wants to drain them completely, then yes. If a vampire is biting for snacking, then no. And if a vampire is turning a person, then no. Perfect. I do have it muted, so I'm glad that you guys don't hear it. Vampire Kiss is the Nick Cage one. Yes, I like Nicolas Cage. Renfield is good, Vanessa. Definitely. Fired. No, I'm not fired. Yeah, Feed. Wasn't Dracula inspired by Vlad the Impaler? Yes, because Vlad's last name was Dracul, or how they pronounced it back then. Vampire versus the Bronx. I haven't seen that one, Dewey. It's on my watch list. And Vampire called something or other. I can't remember. It's on my list as well. Don't be muting my Got Baby Making Music Raw. I have to. It's Coffee Chat of Horrors, Ake. We're going to be jumping into that here in just a second. I can hear ya. It's a stuffy nose and a cough. Oh, that sucks, Vanessa. I hope you feel better. Nosferatu Prophets. Nosferatu is a fucking classic. I don't know how anyone could not like it. It is definitely a classic. Did Heavy survive Friday night? He doesn't remember Friday night. But he survived it. He doesn't remember any of it. Yeah. I'll have to read the book again. Been so long. So yeah, Vlad the Impaler is one of my favorite men of history, because how he did warfare, and I love the way his concept, what he did, impaling people from the anus through their mouth while they were alive and stuck them up on poles, so it forewarns motherfuckers, hey, don't come over here. This is my area. How about The Invitation? Invitation's a great movie. Monster Squad is great. Yeah, poor Heavy. Yeah. Dahi, hello. I want to see Abigail. Oh, fuck yeah, Sailor. I want to see Abigail. That looks great. My friend got me into watching Nick Cage movies. She's been trying to watch them all, so now I have about 50. I love Nicolas Cage. Yeah, they were quite descriptive in that Netflix series describing how he impaled them. Yeah, that was a great series. It was the Ottoman Empire as well. Really great history on Vlad the Impaler. He's one of my, like I said, he's one of my favorite men in history. I think he's awesome. You think Robert Eggers is doing a Nosferatu? Yes, there is a Nosferatu remake coming. Wasn't one of the people he impaled his 17-year-old niece? He impaled quite a few people. He did get some paranoia. There was some shit that happened to him later on in life. It's Beer. Nice. Beer fucking 30. Hello, She Kratos. How are you? They loved to play fuck around and find out back then. So your front yard raw minus real corpses, right? Exactly. I mean, if I could have, yeah, I would honestly do the whole Cannibal Holocaust cover in my front yard if I could get away with it. And that Romanian actor who played Vlad, oh my God, he did so great. I agree with you, Dahi. I love that documentary. Mehmed, yeah, to be fair, yeah. Hello, Mar, how are you? Good morning. Just like Monster High launched Dracula, and I have that one. Dahi and Klepto got me the Monster High Dracula. She sits proudly up in my living room. She's gorgeous. Hello, Reaper, how are you? Good morning, good morning. You guys have all the great docs. Oh, Eve, you should try to find some of them. I should watch Vampire's Kiss on Discord this week. Play it in Discord, James. Stream it for us. Then just tag the movie roll. Hello, Shellies. How are you? Imagine the shock if I did that, right? Right? I would love to have straws with the Cannibal Holocaust. If you don't know what I'm talking about, and one of the cover art for Cannibal Holocaust is a pole, and on it is a chick that's impaled on it. And I would love to have that as a fucking straw. I think that would be great. What's the documentary again? It's about the Ottoman Empire. Dahi, do you know the name of the documentary? I don't remember the name of it. I like the tie-in they did in Dracula 2000 with him being Judas. I thought it was written well. Too bad the movie wasn't done by a better writer, director. I liked it as well. And yes, the story could have been a lot more, I think. Oh, well, thank you, Carlos. You are just as awesome, buddy. It was the Ottoman Empire, right? I think that's what it's called, Feed. Ottoman Empire. And in that Ottoman Empire, they actually talk about the full lore and history of Vlad the Impaler and how he became Vlad the Impaler. It's really interesting storyline. If you guys haven't seen it, definitely check it out. It's a good one. All right. The first season of Ottoman Empire was Mehmed conquering Constantinople. Yes, that is it. I think the guy who played Mehmed was amazing. I think he did great. Yes, and season 2 was Mehmed versus Vlad, and it brings up everything. And you get this, they reenact the whole war that went on between them. Definitely a good watch. I thought vampires had dark red eyes. It depends on the vampire, Carlos, and it depends on the vampire lore that you're going after. Not all vampires burn in the sun. It really is dependent on the lore that you're following. Vlad the Impaler was a psychopath who knew how to freak out his enemies. He was a lot more than that, Dewey. Definitely watch that documentary. Like I said, he's one of my favorite men in history. It's rather hard here. Found a couple about serial killers, but things like about vampire lore and such is rather low here. Where are you again, Eve? Are you, I know you're Norway. I know you're somewhere in that area, but there are a couple of Belgium. Okay, then you should be able to find this movie. It's called Thirst. Thirst. It's about a gay vampire. Check it out. Check it out. It's one of my favorites. I love vampires, savage and hungry, not cheesy and romantic. I prefer my vampires to rip my throat out like the vicious predator that they are. However, I do love my True Blood. I mean, come on. Already hooked? Yeah, definitely check it out, Eve. It's called Thirst. It's a Norwegian, no, I'm sorry. It's an Icelandic vampire horror film. It's great. Also, there's something in the barn. It's not vampire, but it's based on Norwegian lore. And that one's pretty cool. I think Ra would be either an Anik or a Bruja in Vampire the Masquerade. Don't care who you turn, but still have enough morals to not just randomly kill. Yeah, Eric Northman. Right, Sailor? Right? I think Momoa could do well as Vlad. He's quite big, isn't he? Like muscles. Vlad wasn't the big guy. He was tall, but he wasn't like, muscular. Dark Shadows, the original and the Johnny Depp movie is really good. I am a wolf whore. I am. Serial's right. If I had to choose vampire or werewolf, I would go werewolf because I can still have sex and eat steak. That's my whole thing. So yeah. Pam from True Blood. Pam, I loved Pam's character. Hey, do you have a Discord server? Yes, I do. Oh shit, hold on. Let me open up the bot. I didn't open up the bot for YouTube. Give me a second here. There we go. Stream Elements kicked right in. So fuck it. We don't need that bot. I forgot that I still have Stream Elements. Mix It Up bot actually does YouTube now. So you can do all your commands and everything through Mix It Up bot, which I have. Don't ever be sorry for being late, Sebastian. We're just getting going here. We haven't even started yet. I'm still fucking rambling on about vampires. I could see Jason Momoa in vampire movie, but more of a horror comedy though, like Renfield. Yeah, I could see that as well. Pam is wonderful, Maeve. I completely agree. Gary Oldman as Dracula was sexy. I thought so too, Sailor. Lafayette, I fucking love Lafayette. May he rest in peace, man. That actor was awesome. And Jordan, feel free to join the Discord. I'd pick vampire and go full evil. I have a purge list. See, I would choose werewolf and still be able to kill and mass murder as many of my victims' enemies that I could, right? So that's my thing. Vampires can only come out at night most of the time unless you listen to offshoot lore about vampires. Sookie, I don't like her. Nope, you haven't missed anything. We haven't even started yet. I squirreled so hard, it's not even funny. Did you see The Lighthouse? No, I haven't, Sebastian. I hope they never make another glitter vampire movie again. Do you know that Lost Boys had glitter on them? Not as glittery as those fuckers in Twilight, but they did have glitter on them. Sookie is Faye anywho. Yeah, I don't like Sookie. Yeah. All right. Enough squirreling. Let's get into our coffee chat of horrors before I squirrel any further on everything. Who
likes scary movies and coffee?
The following show is based on research on horror movies and what goes on behind the scenes of your favorite scary movies. Horde Entertainment or ReAnimateHer is not responsible for the macabre and horror that you are about to witness. Viewer discretion is advised.
No, I have not seen Twilight at all, Sebastian. No, I have not. Hi, EXO, how are you? Nice. So Bram Stoker's Dracula is what you're saying. Hello, Roth. The Strain's great. All right. Good morning, my day walkers. I am ReAnimateHer, your queen of horror, and this is Coffee Chat of Horrors, the only horror show that takes its coffee like it's magic, and that is black. Today's screams come from Richard Wenk. Yeah, Wenk in Vamp. So buckle up, ghouls, as we traverse the realms that nightmares are made of. Directed by Richard Wenk and written by Richard Wenk and Donald Borchers. I don't know why I can't say Richard's last name without smiling because it sounds like wank instead of wank. But yes, it is written and directed by Richard Wenk. I want to say wank. And then there's Monkey's Penetration right over there. I remember something about vampire movie that focuses on an emotional vampire who ends up throwing her boyfriend into a spiral because she siphons too much of his energy. That sounds familiar. The glitter was more from the time. Yes, the glitter was from the time of the rock band 80s era. Yeah, everybody wore fucking glitter. And then it went right to strippers, and strippers always wear body glitter. Borchers and Wank. Yeah, Borchers. Yeah. Okay, so anyways, let's get back on topic here. If you are unsure who Donald Borcher is, he wrote and produced Children of the Corn, the original, but he also did the other two that there's actually three. Well, there's more in total, and he did the three Children of the Corn, but there is more than three. There's also remakes and all that other fun stuff. Oh. Let's see. Sorry about that. All right. Now we're going to go and watch the trailer as well for Vamp. So for those of you that may not have seen it, this is the trailer. This one's a little bit longer than a normal trailer. So if you haven't seen it, sorry for the spoilers. That episode had you rolling. Sounds like we had Colin Robinson's girlfriend. Oh my God, I love Colin Robinson. I actually love Colin Robinson and his girlfriend scenes. They were hilarious. All right. Let me know how this sounds. Of course, Grace Jones. Grace Jones was amazing in this film. And she really took this role seriously. So seriously that there was some injuries on set, which, you know, happens sometimes. Yeah, she's beautiful. I really love Grace Jones. She was good in Conan, if you guys have seen that. Albino cockroaches. Yes, could you imagine being that friggin' like pale? Hello, Gore. How are you? If you're just joining us on any platform, we are doing and discussing the movie Vamp from 1986. Fright Night was definitely a good movie. And yeah, the part where he eats the cockroaches from the dish. Ooh, yeah, thinking it was a mint. That is disgusting. Definitely. So let's start off with the budget for this movie. So the budget for Vamp in 1986 was quite high, $3.3 million. And even though it didn't do the greatest at box office, it was still quite a hit, especially among the artsy side of the world and in New York. In the box office, it hit $4.9 million. So really not a huge amount of money was made off of it. So 3.3 was the budget and it only gained 4.9. It wasn't a complete flop though, unlike some other movies that had hit the theaters around that time. Hello, Mystic. How are you? Grace Jones once visited Chile in the 80s. She had a hilarious performance on TV. Nice. Duncan and Vamp. Yes. Duncan and Vamp. Yeah, we have a lot of great information for you guys today. So if you don't know about Vamp, it's 1986, starring Grace Jones. It is written and directed by Richard Wenk, written and directed by him and Donald Borcher, and directed by Richard Wenk. We have an ad break happening already over on the Twitch side of things, so we're gonna snooze it. Wasn't the baby in Alive a vampire, or am I mistaken? It's Alive, I think so. Hello, Cannibal Wank. I know, I want to say Wank over Wank. Wank. Name is Wank, or Richard Wenk. Okay, so if you've never seen it, the plot goes a little something like this. You have two fraternity pledges who travel to a sleazy bar in search of strippers for their college friends, unaware it is occupied by vampires. This is a fun film, and they shoot it in like a purple and a green atmosphere in a lot of the scenes. Very artsy. This is a very artsy horror vampire movie, and it's more of a vampire comedy than anything else. Would you include Lost Boys movies? Yeah, Lost Boys is good. Hello, Moon. How are you? I know it's not horror, but they are making another Beverly Hills. Yeah. Richard, aka Dick Wank. Yeah. Just ignore that. Yeah, I've noticed that purple and green lighting. Yes, even in the sewers, the purple and the green lighting were done on purpose to give it that eerie, atmospheric, and artsy look to the whole film. I really love those colors, and I would love to get them in my background, but it's really hard, I find, with all my lights here. Anyways, in the pantheon of vampire films, Vamp holds a unique place not only for its eerie narrative, but also for the intriguing anecdotes surrounding its production. Directed by Richard Wenk and co-written by Wenk and Donald P. Borcher, this cult classic, released a decade before From Dusk Till Dawn, which is another amazing vampire film, introduced audience to a world where the line between humor and horror blurs. Good morning, Ross. How are you? Yeah, you're not a fan of vampire movies, but I really love Nosferatu. Have you seen Vamp, Sebastian? You should check out Vamp. I need to do a scene up for my lights, for which is a watch horror. Nice, James. I have that in my living room from when I watched certain horror movies. Could you imagine Tina Turner playing the role of Katrina in Vamp? Because, Tina Turner was considered for the role of Katrina. Katrina is the main vampire played by Grace Jones. And Tina Turner is another amazing woman, and that woman can fucking dance. But could you imagine Tina Turner in the portrayal of Katrina? I don't know if she would have been able to bring that animalistic sex appeal that Grace Jones brought to Katrina's character. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, Tina Turner is gorgeous. That woman's got a body for days. However, I don't think she has the raw animal magnetism that Grace Jones brings to the role of Katrina. Tina Turner was at her height. Yes, she was in the Thunderdome. Ike would have come in to. Yeah. Do you like Queen of the Damned? Yes, I do. One of my other favorite vampire films. Katrina had so few lines. The whole point of Grace Jones thought it would be more creepy and eerie and more predatory if she was quiet through the whole film. Like, she honestly thought that, and she doesn't say a word. She doesn't say a word. She does a lot of body signaling and looking and uses her eyes. There's quite a few things that Grace Jones does on her own will in the movie Vamp, which I find hit off really well. It definitely did work. Grace Jones, when she read the interview, so when she was asked to do this role as Katrina, she wasn't a horror movie fan. She didn't watch horror movies, nor did she know anything about vampires. So what she did was, and I love how dedicated I love how actors get to their movies and how dedicated they get to their films. So Grace Jones read Interview with a Vampire a few times to get ready for this role because she wasn't really into vampire movies, nor was she into horror. So to get ready, she actually took the time to read and reread the novel by Anne Rice, Interview with a Vampire. And that is how she got ready for this role. And we're going to have to squirrel here because we have an ad break incoming. Queen of the Damned, Aaliyah broke my gay ass, Minnie Kratos' brain. She did amazing in that. Grace Jones was also a Bond girl. Yes, she was, Monkey. I don't think Tina could pull off where Grace would. Yeah. Vamp is a good movie. I should watch it. Yes, you should watch it, Carlos. It's definitely different than most normal vampire films that you have seen. Very different. Maybe she was awesome as the Acid Queen and Tommy. Don't forget Mad Max. Oh yeah, no, she did great in those films. Tina Turner did great in those films. However, I don't think she has the animal sex appeal that Grace Jones has. Grace Jones just has something about her that is animalistic and predatory at the same time. And I don't mean predatory, I mean like vampire predator. Method acting for the win. She did the same shit in Conan, and when she did that creepy scream and stare at the camera in Conan, I literally was like, that's a scary bitch right there. Yes, because she has that animal magnetism, that appeal that I don't think Tina Turner has. The same Grace Jones. Yes, Grace Jones from Conan the Barbarian. Yeah. That's Grace Jones. She was the vampire in Vamp. She did a lot of artsy stuff in Soho. That's a great piece on Vamp on Search of Darkness. Yes, there is and I actually have that information. If I was a vampire in a movie, I would play a role as a vampire slayer. Tina Turner's presence is totally different, Deadwalk. I agree. Completely different. All right, I don't see an ad popping up, so we're going to continue going. Oh, there it is. Never mind. The ad is right there. Tina can stick it to her Thunderdome, right? I do like Tina Turner in the Thunderdome. I think she was a really good in Mad Max. But yeah, not like Grace Jones. Grace Jones has a different energy to her altogether. Even her bone structure in her face is pretty primal, I think. And I really liked her in Vamp. Another 80s movie I loved that was not a vampire, A Deadly Friend. Dan. Riggs, how are you? And how's your day going? Underworld is good with vampires and werewolves. Yes, it is. It's just too bad a lot of it was CGI because it had some wicked werewolves. But again, a CGI kind of ruins that for me. Tina has a more powerful woman feel. Yes. So, and Tina does. She's very more powerful female feel to her than Grace. But I think that this role needed Grace's energy, her animalistic energy that she has. You sort of rewatch Daybreakers is great. Ethan Hawke. Who thought Ethan Hawke vampires, right? Ethan, I love him. I know. I seen you. I know. Nice of you to see me now. I seen you earlier, but I was trying not to squirrel. I squirreled so hard earlier. I'm fine here, spring cleaning, listening to CCOH while I work. That's good, Riggs. BTCK. Welcome back over on the Twitch side of things, guys. I know it gets a little weird because We have YouTube going and Twitch has ads where I have them off for YouTube. So welcome back. Now, one of the funny things that I found about Grace Jones when I was reading and listening to different research and interviews, I found out that when she was on the set of Vamp, she was super pissed because her vibrator went missing. Her vibrator was not in her room. And she made sure that her vibrator was always there with her on set. And she was storming around like, where the fuck is my vibrator? That was one of the things that she had to have and has with her on all movie sets. Her trusty vibrator. I was listening to that and I'm just like, that is fucking hilarious. If you were in a vampire movie, what would you play as? I would probably be a vampire. I want to murderize people. Yeah. Her vibrator. She was so angry because she couldn't find it. It wasn't in her trailer. It wasn't on set. Like she couldn't find it. She was pissed. And yeah, there is a video of that being discussed. Everybody has their fucking methods. You are right, Dahi. And I was like, okay then, storming around. Where's my fucking vibrator, bitches? I think Grace Jones is awesome. So Grace Jones is also the iconic singer. She's an iconic singer, especially amongst a different type of crowd. And she loves being body painted. She sat down for 18 hours once to be fully body painted. 18 fucking hours. I imagine loads of people would be pissed if their vibrator was missing. Yeah, I know, right? Especially on a movie set. Movies are stressful. You definitely need that release. I agree, Sailor. No, she was not happy. No, not at all. Yeah, she did. Hungry. Basically. I thought that was a great piece of information there. It's okay if we squirreled. It's okay if we squirrel. Yeah. All right. So she took the role as Vamp, which is a silent. She didn't speak at all. And her silence does speak volumes in this movie. In a daring move, Jones decided her character would remain mute throughout the film, drawing inspiration from silent film techniques reminiscent of Max Schreck's portrayal in Nosferatu. Remember I told you Grace got ready by reading Interview with the Vampire? She also wanted it to be a more creepy feel to it, and nothing creepier than a very silent vampire. And that was her thoughts on the whole matter, is where she needed to be silent. And she plays that off really well because her character already oozes with death and, strength. She doesn't need to speak in this film at all. Hi, Donnie. How are you? She did dead walk. Now there's a famous chair, Kalima. There is a chair that she does her iconic striptease on. And that peculiar chair Grace Jones does her striptease was not just a prop. It was also a testament to the film's eccentricity and crafted from the body of Grace Jones' then boyfriend, Dolph Lundgren. Yeah. Did you know that? So that chair that she brings out and she does her dance on and she ends with her head in between the legs and laying down like that. That's Dolph Lundgren's body. That's his fucking cast. She was dating Dolph Lundgren. And so they created this chair and it definitely added a layer of strangeness to the scene because there's this just chair sitting there. Riggs, you really have to see it. Yeah, she dated Ivan Drago. Yes. Yep, Dolph Lundgren. That is wild, right? They both had excellent cheek structure. They did. Oh, my Lord. Thank you. I knew Dolph had something to do with this. Yeah, Dolph, he really didn't have anything to do with it. It was just the chair that she wanted. This chair was already done. This is the chair she wanted in her striptease. Yeah. So imagine. Pam Grier, no, I don't think she would have been great in Vamp. I think Pam Grier brings a different type of female energy to the screen. I like her. he took her dildo. Possibly. You should see it, Reegs. It's definitely a great classic Vamp. Yeah, and she's also a singer. You know, she's also Grace is also a singer, and she has one of her songs that she actually dances to is in this movie, and the only time you can actually hear it is watching this movie. Yeah. So now, Dolph Lundgren, we have his chair there, and the costume that Jones wore and other characters were sourced from her designer friend due to budget constraints, leading a unique flair to everybody's ensemble. Now, there is, when she comes out for her striptease, she's wearing these spiral things on her boobs, and she's wearing this spiral thing on her vag area, and it's a thong. Well, that's what they were wearing, and they didn't have a lot of money. Even though $3.3 million was the budget, they didn't have a lot of money for all these great costumes. So body paint was one of the big things, and the body paint was actually from a good friend of hers, may he rest in peace, which is a legendary graffiti artist, Keith Haring. And he body paints her in a lot of things, a lot of different shows that she did. Like I said, in one show that she did, it was 18 hours she sat through body paint. And Keith Haring was definitely an amazing graffiti artist. He did her makeup in there as well. Yeah, Carla. Yes, you can get it on Blu-ray. I have it. Vamp is a good movie. Definitely a good movie. Take the time to watch it. It's a classic. Now, Katrina played, Grace Jones plays Katrina. Her vampire makeup is based off of Pris from Blade Runner. You guys remember Blade Runner 1982? That is where her makeup is inspired by. And I thought that was pretty interesting because when she does come out on stage and she's fully covered in these, weird symbols with her medal on her, she kind of looks like something out of like Mad Max and the Thunderdome. But she was fully inspired by Blade Runner. Another favorite film of yours? Nice. Dolph was great as the Punisher. Too bad the movie was bad. And I liked in it the showdown in Little Tokyo with Brandon Lee. Hi, Amazing Halo. If you guys are just joining us, we are discussing Vamp on Coffee Chat of Horrors. Billy Drago actually has very dark hair. Now, if you know who Billy Drago is, he plays the albino gang leader in this movie. And he's a really creepy looking, crypt keeping looking like a guy. He's really creepy looking. In every movie that he plays in, he's friggin' creepy looking. I think it's just his face. I don't know. There's something about it that just, you see him and you're like, that's a creepy motherfucker. Hello, Basement Cat. How are you? Once Bitten Chloe is definitely a fun movie. We were talking about that a little earlier today. He bleached his hair white, including his eyebrows, in order to portray the albino gang leader, Snow. So his character's name is Snow. And yeah, he literally went balls out. He bleached everything because a true albino has no pigment whatsoever, from their hair to their skin to their eyes. Really, there is no real pigment. So he had to bleach the shit out of himself, except for his skin. Yeah, wait, Snowflake gang leader had dark hair? In real life, yeah, he actually has very dark hair, but decided to strip the shit out of it in order for him to play the albino gang leader. He really is. He's so good in The Untouchables. Billy Drago was great too. So many distinguishing characters in Vamp. Yeah, there's a lot of great actors in the movie Vamp. Some of them just starting out their career in film, let alone in horror, which I thought it was great. Yeah, I completely forgot, Basement. Message me in Discord and then I'm able to I'll see the red notification there. So if you've seen Vamp, there's this stripper that has a whip, right? And she does this nice little scene, striptease with her whip. You also get to see her at back of the stage as well, and she dies by a shoe, you know. And her name was, her real name is Lisa Lyon, and she plays the character Cimarron. So Cimarron is played by Lisa Lyon, and Lisa Lyon is the woman's first world body champion in 1979. She also was a Playboy centerfold in 1980. And sad news, she recently passed away in 2023, so may she rest in peace. Stabbed through the heart with heels. What a way to go. Yes, and if you actually take a look at the shoe, yeah, the shoe is kind of weird. So if you watch the movie Vamp again, keep an eye out for that shoe because, yeah, it's quite funny. Yeah, Dedee Pfeiffer. Dedee Pfeiffer, which is Michelle Pfeiffer's sister, was in Vamp as well. And Dedee kind of disappeared after a while, then came back in the 2020 era, come back with her career. But yeah, she was in it. You read the book on Lisa Lyon. Lisa Lyon is amazing. Yeah, definitely. If you don't know who Lisa Lyon is, definitely check her out. She did play Cimarron. She did a lot of things in the world of fitness for women. Like I said, she was the first world women body champion in 1979. Yeah. The original Fright Night is awesome. Definitely is. I did Coffee Chat of Horrors on Fright Night. Oh, God, a long time ago. Dedee Pfeiffer was in the movie The Wishmaster. Yes, with Andrew Divoff. Yes, she was. Yes, she was. I like Wishmaster. I think we need to revisit Wishmaster, and I think I need to do a CCOH on Wishmaster. Okay, so you remember me telling you how Jones was she was a singer, she was an artist, she was an all-round creative, Grace Jones, and she has a mesmerizing dance sequence in this film, and it's accompanied by her song that she sung herself, never officially released. So despite its absence from the soundtrack album that Jones later reworked the track into Seduction Surrender for her 1989 album Bulletproof Heart. Now, the song that she dances to in Vamp, you can only hear it in this movie. She did not add it to any of her soundtracks. It was never officially released on her soundtrack, but she did rework the song and the track Seduction Surrender, which is a really cool song. I don't know if you guys, if you listened to the music of Vamp, but it's got a really cool soundtrack. And Grace Jones, like I said, she was a full-on friggin' creative, from music, dancing, creativity with body paint, and the different things that she liked to do with her body. Grey's Anatomy patient got drunk, took off high heels, tripped, and embedded stilettos in a chest. It was horrific. Ooh, yeah. Well, in this scene, Cimarron, she dies by shoe killing. Yeah. It was a pain in the ass to find. How does Vamp look on Blu-ray? It looks great. I have it on DVD. But they do 4K restorations. The production of Vamp wasn't without its challenges, from prosthetic mishaps such as the incident where Robert Rusler's neck was inadvertently pierced, to the unforeseen coincidence of filming commencing on the day that the Space Shuttle Challenger disaster. The journey to bring this film to life was fraught with both tragedies and triumph. I don't know, a lot of you youngins probably won't remember the Space Shuttle, the Challenger, and the disaster that happened back then. But yeah, this film had its trials and tribulations. And yes, remember I told you earlier in CCOH, Grace Jones gets a little crazy, a little into her character. There's a scene where she has Robert on the bed. Yeah. He was dead walk, definitely. She has Robert on the bed, and she's on top of him, and she's doing her thing. She's kissing him, and he doesn't realize that she's turning into her vampire self until he opens his eyes and looks up, and she's in full vampire, and she bites his neck. And as she's biting his neck, trying to like rip his throat out, she really bites too deep and pierces his neck with her teeth. Because she got into it so much, into character. Another one that, like Sissy Spacek, she is dedicated to her role in Carrie. Grace Jones was dedicated to her role as a vampire Katrina in Vamp. Zach, thank you for your 27-month as a Leviathan over on YouTube. And thank you for your stream streak there. Look at you, Basement Cat. 3 stream streak. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, you got the Arrow video release some years ago when it was released. Definitely up there in quality. Definitely. You should, if you haven't checked it out, do so, Carlos. I don't think you will be too upset about that. Now, there's an initiation that this movie starts off with. And just after the initiation ceremony, at the beginning, where Keith and AJ walk out the doors, you can see Gwyn Wilson Student Union is briefly seen above the doors, thus placing them as attending University of Southern California, though it is never said what school they attend. And there is, in the beginning, these two young pledges are pledging for a fraternity, and the fraternity turns into, like, the whole pledge turns into chaos and things get messed up. And so the fraternity tell the guys, you have to do something crazy and wild, and looking for strippers is what they did. I was just writing that with Arrow Release and Shout Factory, always check both because each company has different transfer companies and the image for each varies of what ones are better. That is very true and a good piece of information there, Stereo. Grace Jones had her own special dressing room as well. And it's the same dressing room that was in the movie. And it was decorated by Andy Warhol. Andy Warhol was a huge presence in the art realm back in the day. And Grace Jones, Andy Warhol, all of them really friends before this film has started. And the dressing room that you see in the movie is her dressing room in real life in that movie, and she had it decorated by Andy Warhol, which is a huge thing. If you know anything about Andy Warhol and his presence, especially in Soho, in the artsy side of film and in art altogether, he has a pretty big presence there. Some of the influences in this film that Richard pulled from, which I really love the fact that they were inspired and pulled some of what you see in the cabinet of Dr. Caligari. I know I say it all wrong. I call it Caligari. I know. That's how I pronounce it. That explains why her dressing room was so posh. Yeah. Yep. A lot of aesthetics came from Andy Warhol. And like I said earlier, it is a very artsy type of vampire film. I bet Andy Warhol took Grace Jones. I wouldn't doubt it if he took Grace Jones' vibrator. He was a strange motherfucker. If you know anything about Andy Warhol, yeah. Anyways, before I scroll any further, but yes, he pulled off some silent film inspiration. Vamp employed very strong angles and contrasting colors to create the otherworldly atmosphere. Remember I told you it was a lot of purples and greens and pinks that you see throughout the film. And you see that in the sewer, you see that in the alley. Anytime they're really out of the areas, you can see these colors in the film, and that was set for a reason. That's how they made that atmosphere feel like another world, even though they were still in where they were. And I really like the green and the magenta hues that are used, especially in Katrina's world. As you notice, they kind of make the worlds separate in here. So when they are focusing on the vampires and Katrina's world, you're going to have magenta and green. When they're in the regular world and the beginning with their frat boys and the whole beginning scene is all normal coloring, normal atmosphere. And then anything shot with like the albinos and the vampires, all brought in with the magenta and the green. So you kind of see the separation in the movie if you are aware of it and you're looking at it, because most of the time you don't really realize that the green colors are only in the portrayal scenes of like the vampires and in that world, the albino gang, and comparing it to where they're not in that world. Grace Jones is everything. I will agree with you, Bald. Grace Jones is great. I like their song from 1885. You mean 1985, Fright Night? The song was Come to Me. Nice. Wasn't Long Duck? Yes, he was. He was in 16 Candles. And we do have something on him here as well. So he took Long Duck Dong. He is in 16 Candles, and that role portrays him as your typical Chinese student from China, which is stereotype, and he really disliked that. The reason why he took Vamp when he was offered the role was because it didn't have him as a stereotypical Chinese person. He was able to be him without having to rely on that stereotype for Chinese people in films of that time. If you take a look at 80s films where they utilize Chinese culture or Chinese people or Asian people for that matter, they all have a stereotype. They did it in Big Trouble Little China. They did it in 16 Candles. What else was there? Vamp was one that did not do that. Even anywhere that you've seen that in the 80s films, any kind of Asian or Chinese influence, they always had that stereotypical, even in the Goonies. Have you seen Happy Birthday to Me? Yes, I have. I've seen Happy Birthday. Yeah. Stereo is right. Don't forget, if you're over on YouTube, make sure you click on live chat and not top chat, as live chat will just give you those that are live chat will give you everybody who's talking, and top chat will only give you a certain few people that are talking. And in Gremlins as well, Revenge of the Nerds. Yep. You can see quite a bit of the stereotype, and that's why he took this movie, because he didn't have to rely on the stereotype, and he had a lot of fun doing it. And there's a scene in the car, a spoiler alert, there's a scene in the car that is I thought it was quite funny. And he was funny. Yeah, he was funny in this movie, Dahi. He was the comedy relief, I like to say. Just remembered myself. Yeah. Oh, in live chat. Yeah. I totally forgot as well. My Best Friend is a Vampire is another great cheesy 80s film. Definitely is. There's a lot of great vampire films from the 80s. A lot of them. So do you know that this movie was banned? Yeah. Despite initial bans and controversy, Vamp eventually found its audience, cementing its status as a cult classic. From its unique take on vampire lore to its behind-the-scenes anecdotes, the film continues to captivate audiences, proving that sometimes the most enduring stories are found in the shadows. This movie was banned in Ontario. Ontario, Canada. They banned it. Yeah. And then later on, it was definitely released. They allowed it to go through. But I don't understand what the controversy of this film really was. If you think about it, what controversy do you guys see? Yeah. Ontario of all fucking places. They are stinky. I agree, Kratos. But like, it didn't have anything that I found controversial. Not even the amount of blood in here, because it's not really a bloody, gory film. There's a really cool scene. I'm not going to give it away, but it's a really cool scene between Katrina and her Renfield and one of the girls in the club. That's a good scene. If you've seen the movie, you know what part I'm talking about. I don't want to really say it if someone is going to go watch it tonight or tomorrow or whenever. I saw the first time from my favorite mom and pop video store, probably since in the middle of the Satanic Panic as well. The love scene. Oh, that scene. Yeah, that's where Robert got hurt. Maybe. Was Ontario extra religious in the 80s? I don't know. I didn't live there. I don't know. But they didn't like the movie and they banned it for a little bit. Not the whole time. I can't believe that movie was... Yeah, Ontario is strange, man. It's strange. At the end of the movie, just as Keith and Allison emerge from the sewer, you can see the Highland Plasma Center, which is the blood bank in the background, along with vagrants and police officer in the parking lot, all which play major themes in the movie. It could be argued that they are walking off to their future and leaving it all behind them. Now, Vamp could have had a sequel. It could have. They could have easily, but it did not. Maybe eating the roach scene. Oh, yeah. No, the real he didn't eat a real roach. No. Yes, Ontario, Canada. That part scarred you as a kid when she was on top of him and then she bites his neck and then she kind of like does her howl. She had a scary fucking face in that movie. Like, I don't know if you've seen how scary their vampire faces were. These were not your traditional vampires where they just got fucking fangs. Her whole face transformed. Very similar, but different style in like From Dusk Till Dawn. You know how in Dusk Till Dawn they looked human, and then when they went into their vampire form, they went more like a reptile type of formation in Dusk Till Dawn. This one here, same thing in Vamp. They transform, and when they transform, they are ugly sons of bitches. And they have a lot of teeth, not just two. People there eat bugs and all the time. Yeah, there's a lot of people that eat bugs. I'm not one of them. No, not at all. Yeah. Oh, look at that. We're just in time. We are just in time. I'm glad I'm always staying on time, guys. Vamp has a lot of artistic style. It brings a lot of young actors into the limelight. Again, with Robert Rusler, he's been in a lot of 80s films. Not just Robert, but Grace Jones, Dedee Pfeiffer. On the time, whatever. I am on time. So as the credits roll on Vamp, one thing becomes clear. This is not just a vampire film. It is a journey into the bizarre and the unexpected and the unforgettable, because Vamp is unforgettable. You can see that movie once and still remember specific scenes, you know, from eating the cockroach in the club to the ginormous fire that was set. The scene where Katrina is on top of Robert in that love scene. The one scene that I really like in the movie, I won't give that away in case you go watch it. And if you kind of can figure out what scene I'm talking about, it's one of my favorite scenes. And the unexpected, I laughed about the Formica thing. Yeah, the Formica through the heart. It's quite funny. Oh, we got an ad break over on the Twitch side of things. When she punches through her servant, yeah, that was a great scene. Great scene. I consider Vamp a dark comedy instead of a horror movie. Well, it is it's considered a horror comedy. That's what it's considered, because horror is an umbrella, right? Even your slashers, like a horror movie is a horror, and horror is more of a feeling when you're feeling disgusted, disturbed, scared, fear, anxious. Anything really can be considered a horror movie. And horror is just an umbrella term that houses numerous genres and subgenres and sub-subgenres like slasher, monster, shocking and disgusting. That's just three of the genres underneath horror. And then that has its own subgenres underneath, which you have vampires, zombie films, cannibals, hillbilly cannibals, gothic horror. So you can really put anything underneath that horror umbrella. And it is comedy in the film. There's a nice mixture of horror and comedy in the film. I love how they mix Frank Sinatra-like culture with the 80s. Well, yeah, when he's sitting there, the Renfield of that movie is a huge, huge Vegas fan. And throughout the film, he's trying to get Katrina to go open up a club in Vegas. And he brings up all these names that, nobody today will know who they are. Donnie Darko is not a horror, but I consider it a horror. Anything can be considered a horror movie, right? And I thought that was cute because their Renfield is the club host. He invites people in, and a way for the vampires to not be seen when they come in, and it's because of the drink special they have. Yeah. They have a drink special that for $1, all you can drink, but you have to be by yourself. So that would bring in a lot of people coming in and drinking by themselves, and the vampires would be able to feed off of their human blood bag inside the club. And once they're fed off of and dead, they usually look like they're drunk on the table, all passed out. And then he would come around and say, hey, anybody know this guy? Anybody here with him? He's kind of drunk. Anybody want to take him home? Going once, going twice. And then, of course, they would take them and throw them in a dumpster. Donnie Darko is listed as a sci-fi thriller, so horror. Yeah, underneath the horror umbrella there. They even close the movie with a Volaire song. That they do. What tenor do you prefer singing it? Oh. Horror movie slashers are scared of a stereotype character. Well, slashers is a subgenre in horror, right? But anyways, guys, we're getting to the end of Coffee Chat of Horrors. I really do hope you enjoyed the information that I pulled for Vamp. Vamp doesn't have a shit ton of information on it. IMDb only had very little. I had to watch Joe Bob Briggs' Violent Valentine again and write down some of the information he had because that information was not on the internet. And yes, there is an interview with Grace Jones, as well as a few other people that I was able to find where they discuss certain things about the vibrator that she was mad about being missing, to Dolph Lundgren's body chair. So I do hope you guys enjoyed Vamp. I think next Coffee Chat of Horrors, we're going to discuss The Fly. Yeah, The Fly, with Jeff Goldblum, not the original Fly. But maybe we'll bring in the original Fly as well, and we'll talk about both next Sunday. I appreciate it, Deadwalk. I was trying to make sure that I got everything in, and I try not to miss any kind of research. But I'm glad that Vamp doesn't have a shit ton of research, but still, it had quite a few fun things. This week is going to be St. Patrick's Day. Nice. Yes, The Fly. You love The Fly? Great choice. Fly is a great movie. We have a huge list of CCOH to get through. You guys have been requesting movies to be done, so we do have Near Dark is coming up. I'm going to re-look at Lost Boys. We've got Pumpkinhead, Motel Hell, Ghoulies. There's quite a bit of information that I have for you guys coming up in the next couple of Sundays. For sure. Now we're all going to wonder who actually stole Grace's vibrator. Was it Dolph or was it Andy Warhol? Yeah, who knows? Who knows where it was put? This month is going to be, yes, it is, Vanessa. Thank you. It was fun. Best part of my week. I love Sundays. Sundays is my favorite time to stream because I get to sit here and chat all about horror and about specific movies. And I get to deep dive into them, which I find is a lot of fun. Get your Raid spray. But yeah, that is Fly 2. It was decent. That is this episode of Coffee Chat of Horrors. Did she really need both? Probably. Who knows where someone hid it to sneak it out? Possibly. She did get her vibrator in the end, though. She did. It was okay, Chloe. I actually have to revisit The Fly 2. I honestly don't remember it. Have you seen I have seen all of the Leprechaun movies. There's a classic vampire one I have in mind that is less mentioned these days. I'll suggest it in the Discord. Please do so, Roth. I'm thinking I might open a channel in the Discord that will have where you guys can request movies for CCOH, because you guys really seem to enjoy the requests. I really enjoy the requests that you guys do. Hi, Ace. How are you, darling? Did you like the Bloodstone movies? I'm not really sure. I don't remember them unsigned. I'd have to probably revisit them. The Fly is one of the great remakes that actually surpasses the original. I will agree with you there. Serial. It is definitely surpasses the original. And not many films do that. But then again, the original Fly is quite old. You were thinking of buying The Bride of Chucky? Definitely do so. I have both. I have The Bride of Chucky. I have them both. And yeah, the original Fly came out in 1958. I had to quickly look because I couldn't remember if it was 58 or 59 when the Fly came out. And yeah, so it definitely when David Cronenberg joined the team on the Fly, it definitely came out to be way better than the original. Yeah, I actually have Chucky, the good guy doll itself is in my living room. And then I have the Bride of Chucky and Tiffany, the dressed up from the Bride of Chucky. What'd you find on Shudder last night? Tiffany is the best. Now, I really wish, so you know how we don't really have a lot of female slashers? And the only one that really fully comes to mind is Tiffany, right? You know, Tiffany does go down the line murderizing people, and I think she really needs to be put on that pedestal of slasher females. And I would love to see an offshoot of Tiffany, you know, besides obviously in the Chucky TV series. But so is The Invisible Man, Wolfman, Dracula, and so many more that are still better than their remakes. Yes, there is, Serial. The original Wolfman and The Invisible Man is better than their remakes. The Stuff, nice, Darkbreaker. Serial Mom is cooler. Serial Killer, I like Serial Mom. Yeah, she's that's a good movie. Parents is another really good one that I liked from that era. Yeah, you need to watch ReAnimateHer. It's one of my favorite fucking films. Maybe we'll do a CCOH on ReAnimateHer as well. Jeffrey Combs, fucking awesome. Barbara Crampton, great movie. She actually gets head from a head. That one's fun. I would use Tiffany Valentine for Halloween decor in my room. I would make her watch scary movies. Nice. I meant the Subspecies movie. Oh, no, probably not unsigned. I probably didn't see it. I posted for Vampire in Brooklyn. Nice, Donnie. It's a good movie. Angela from Night of the Demons. She's pretty fucking amazing, Splifford. I got to hang out with her 2 years ago for an entire weekend. Definitely an awesome lady. Tiffany is weirdly hot. Also, I saw a live fight last night, and the women were the main event. One of them dressed in kinky goth vibes with fake blood all over her for her weigh-ins, and she's Canadian. I lost my shit. That's awesome. What Texas Chainsaw Massacre was not Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Barbara Crampton is coming to the video game as a voice actor. She was never in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but Barbara Crampton was in the movie ReAnimateHer. Yes, I did give her cannabis. Yes, that I did. She was amazing. Amelia Kincaid played Angela in Night of the Demons. And Night of the Demons is one of my favorite movies. The whole franchise, it's funny, low budget. But Amelia Kincaid was amazing in it. And I love Night of the Demons. Splifford, welcome to the crypt. Thank you so much for that follow. Yeah, and what's the movie with Maggie Smith where murders all these people in the village and dumps their bodies in the pond? Oh shit. It's not The Village, is it? Are you talking about Keeping Mum? Oh. Yeah, she's not in any of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but she is a voiceover. She will be a voice actor for a character in the video game Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Okay, so in the game, Nancy is blind. You can actually, Gun Media does a VOD, does a live stream over on Twitch, which you can check out. Their latest video was all about the lore of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It goes over the lore of the victims and then Johnny and Nancy. Patrick Swayze is in it. Oh, I don't think I've seen that, Dahi. Oh, I don't think I've seen that. And her aunt was Rue? Yeah. You definitely watched their VOD over on Twitch. It does go into it. Amelia is a nice lady, yeah. And her jacket is pretty fucking awesome. Any movie where Maggie Smith has a body count. I was there too, and Raw with that hot chick. Yeah, she definitely sounds like she would be hot. That would be cool. You guys didn't get any pictures of her? Would have liked to seen that. Definitely would have liked to seen that. She liked your nails? Yes, she did, Monkey. Part 3, Angela. She takes the bullets out of the gun. I really like everything about Night of the Demons. I did a CCOH a few years back on Night of the Demons, which was really, really awesome to know all of the in-depth information. And when she went to the Calgary Horror Con, it was a couple of years back, 2022, and she was there all weekend long. She's a really nice lady. We actually did sat in on a panel with with Amelia Kincaid, who played Angela, and she went over some really cool information from the movie that you're probably not going to see everywhere else. I've noticed a lot of the 80s and 90s horror. A lot of great actors got their start in horror movies. A lot of them did, yeah. Horror was a big thing, even though it wasn't big. Strange. The 80s was Satanic Panic. Horror movies got a really bad rep. They also got mixed up in that whole Satanic Panic bullshit. And a lot of actors got their start in horror films. Love and hate them, love the game and what they are making, but hate that they are helping Kim. No one steal the franchise from to and give him no credit. I know, right? Because Toby Hooper created the motherfucker. He got the idea, Christmas shopping. He was in a hardware store and the mob was crazy inside this store. And he thought, how could I get through this mob very easily? And he was standing next to chainsaws. And that's where he got the idea of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Then he went home and wrote all of the characters that you see in the movie right there at home. He nonstop writing about them. And yes, co-written, Kim, co-written. But the fact of the matter is, it's Toby Hooper. Toby Hooper's The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Maniac is a good movie. I really liked Maniac. I love the practical effects in Maniac. And I like the remake of Maniac that they did. Was it 2012 with that Elijah boy? I remember him in the Lord of the Rings movie. Yeah, you like Billy Zane in Critters? I fucking love Billy Zane. That's where he got his career, right? Billy Zane started out in Critters, and we learned that on a coffee chat of horrors that I did a bit back. When I was a kid, I thought that it was based on a true story. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, many of us thought it was based on a true story because we didn't have Google. Yeah. Have I ever loved Satan? I don't believe in the Catholic devil or God, because I am not Catholic. Yeah, we didn't have Google back then. So when you watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre and it said true events, like based on a true story, you're like, what? Maniac was so good because we got to see Tom Savini kill himself on screen. That would be so cool to do that scene. That scene would have been awesome to do with the shotgun. Yeah. Surprisingly like Maniac remake. I liked the Maniac remake. I thought it was done very well. I really liked the aggressiveness in the remake compared to the original. And I think Elijah Wood did an amazing job as a psycho. I really do. I think he does an amazing job in Maniac. Marissa Tomei's first movie was original Toxic Avenger. I love Marissa. I'm excited for a possible Scream game. I heard it was going to be like Until Dawn, where it's based on the decisions you make. We'll see if it happens. There's a very short Scream game based on Scream 6. It's an indie game. It's very short. It's just the demo, actually. He got them crazy eyes. Mm-hmm. He does have those crazy eyes, Sailor. And I think he would be a good Norman Bates as well, because he does look like he's awkward enough, like where Anthony Perkins literally was Norman Bates, and he did that so fucking well. And it's not easy to pull off social awkward psycho like Anthony Perkins did in the movie Psycho. Vince Vaughn tried to do it, and in the remake of Psycho, no. And he didn't do it well. It's really hard to play that kind of psychotic without the body actions. So if you look at Anthony Perkins and how he portrayed Norman Bates, very socially awkward on every level, and he didn't just imbue that in his acting, but his body language, the way he looked at the camera, the way he did everything in Psycho. Anthony Perkins did a great job, and I honestly think Elijah Wood could pull that off. He does, but Norman is taller. Oh yeah, Norman is hell of a lot taller. I know that one boy who plays that doctor, he didn't do a bad young Norman Bates either. But I think Elijah Wood would do one good. You just put some lifts in his shoes, you know? Make him not so tiny. The Killer Clowns from Outer Space game is coming out. It looks awesome. It does. It looks good. It looks good. I'm hoping they have a beta. I haven't pre-ordered it yet, but I'd like to see if they have a beta beforehand so I can kind of test it out. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Asymmetrical horror games can either be a yay or a nay, you know? But yeah, I think Elijah Wood would do good. Put a couple of lifts in his shoes, you know? Then he would be able to walk around as the tall, awkward boy that Norman Bates was. Vince Vaughn couldn't pull it off. I mean, I like Vince Vaughn, don't get me wrong, but he could not pull off Psycho. Yeah, I think Mother did great in the movie Psycho, right? Well, anyways, that is my time, guys. I really do hope you enjoyed Coffee Chat of Horrors and our bullshitting afterwards and beforehand, because I don't think I squirreled too much, because I kind of got the squirreling out of my system earlier. But I do hope you enjoyed our CCOH. She really stood out in that role. The mom. Mm-hmm. Oh, it even tells you who your top. That's quite cool. Thank you for being here. Thanks for telling us about the director Wenk. I know, Richard Wenk. Oh, my Lord. I had to remind myself not to say Wenk. It was super hard not to say Wenk. No, I squirreled quite a bit in the beginning of CCOH, and I think I have to squirrel early enough to not squirrel so much throughout it. Thank you, Dahi. Thank you, Deadwalk. Thank you, Feed. Have a great day, everybody. Hold on, we're going to do our credits as well, because we do have our credits that are slow as fuck, but they're here. Thank you for being here, Serial. I appreciate it. For those of you over on YouTube, thank you so very much for watching, and stay tuned for Coffee Chat of Horrors next Sunday. If you haven't already done so, hit that like button over there and stab that subscribe button, because every Sunday I come to you live from the murder basement at 11 a.m. Mountain Time with Coffee Chat of Horrors, and we're going to be discussing The Fly next weekend. And same here on Twitch. Thank you guys so very much for coming out to the live show of Coffee Chat of Horrors Vamp from 1986. You will be able to capture this VOD if you missed the majority of the live over on my YouTube channel. I will have it into chapters so you can bypass all the squirreling and just get to the nitty gritty of good stuff. Eddie Murphy did good. Vampire in Brooklyn. I actually put that on the list for CCOH. There'll be if you guys want, I'm going to make a separate channel for CCOH so you guys can put in your recommendations and shit like that. 80s classic. But yes, thank you guys so very much for coming over here and hanging out with me on your Sunday. You guys rock. I hope you have a great rest of what's left of your Sunday. And hopefully Monday isn't too much of an asshole. Thank you guys so much for being here. And I will slash us all later. Bye.